Hey guys, so apart from Braska, we will be getting Ace, so let us discuss about Ace FR. Is it a good FR to be used as main? Well, I do not think so. I think it is better off used as an echo, and you probably want to use it as an echo to space out his, to apply the trap debuff, because he has limited skills that can apply trap debuff, and his FR offers an additional 2 skill for that. So for me, I would rather space things out and use this FR basically to reapply his debuff than straight away using it as a main FR, because during his own turn before you enter FR or anything, you can always use HP plus, because you would want to avoid using his HP plus during force time. So another thing is that his FR offers only 5% off turn, and that is pretty pale compared to what we have right now. Like if you are using Rubicante, Celeste, Beatrix, when enemy attack you are getting a huge chunk of HP damage bonus. So 5% each tick, it will not really be that great, although Ace does trigger his off turn twice if there's 2 units, so that's basically 10% each enemy's turn at least. Okay, so overall, comparing with other often FR, I would say it's just okay, so I'm giving him a score of 3.5 over 5 on his FR. How about his BT? Well, technically you also don't really need his BT, because his BT doesn't add an additional gimmick or mechanics to his kit. What it does do is increase HP damage limit as usual, and gives a bunch of stat boosts, attack stat, max brave stats, to the point he somewhat can act as a support aura unit, because his overhead and other buffs as well does give party stats. But again, if you are bringing a proper characters with support capability, and now that everyone has the BT, then you probably wouldn't use or need that supportive role from Ace. But anyway, if you really do get his BT or already green him, just like I did, then try to play around and try to get his BT to expire, because during then he will trigger a 10 HP dumps AoE attack against the enemy, which is really strong. But if you run, like if you do a rush down, or even if you do a pure off turn team, you probably will not see that happening, because Ace does have, if I'm not mistaken, 8 turns BT effect, and it's actually enough to last for the entire fight. So I'm just giving it a score of 3.5, maybe lower. And as for his kit, obviously he's an off-turn unit, support aura through his BT as I mentioned, and also traps. How do we use Ace kit? Okay, first of all, his trap does not trigger during a BT phase, so you don't think that it will work like Laguna or Kane, where you just have all the trap, where you have the trap up and then you enter BT phase, because nothing will be triggered. Okay, so do take that in mind. So if you want to use Ace, here's more offer. If you like doing a run where you can't actually enter a BT phase, so if you remember previously when we are having the HP gate, and there's a lot of time, like Leo's fight, where you have to delay the enemy 2 turns. So if you randomly enter someone's BT, it will all be wasted. So in that case, in the end, we would want to do a run without BT phase, and Ace will be pretty useful in that scenario, because during enemy's turn, trap trigger, during player's turn, trap triggers, and every time it triggers twice if there's 2 enemy, and each time its trigger is with splash damage. So let's just assume that it is 2 HP dump per trigger, and hence each trigger is total of 4. I mean each turn, rather enemy's turn or your own turn, is total of 4 HP dump, which is still quite good. But yeah, we already have characters like Core, which also does the same thing. 4 HP dumps during player's turn, and in fact can go up even to 12 HP dump if the enemy is attacking all, right? So because it's going to do 3 times preemptive attack. And previously, before FR, one interesting thing is Ace uses LD. Now he has a transform HP plus that can also apply his debuff or basically flip his debuff so that it start activating. But now you probably will not want to use that HP plus attack during force time because it is just 1 HP dump, and hence you will be likely to spam LD and FR. And if you want the trap to trigger, you either have to do it twice, which means LD, and next turn Ace uses LD again, or you have to let the enemy take a turn. So overall, it can feel a little bit more difficult to try and optimize how you would want Ace to deal as much damage as possible. So if you're running an off-turn team, you is better off using character like Core, Beatrix, or even Oren, who is supposed to be here at this point but is not yet in GL, but probably will be coming soon, or just use Ruby Candy. As for Crystal passive, if you are going for off turn, obviously as slow as possible at put D3 or D6, or if you are using on turn, and if Ace is not going to get as much turn because you're going to rely on the trap exploding, he does need a turn once or twice to reapply his debuff, which again, most of the character now doesn't need to do that because like you have Core, you just you just link to someone and you will be continuous doing preemptive attacks unless the buff fell off, but the buff is pretty long so it will last. But Ace can't. You will have to need to give him turn. Okay. And apart from that, I also do recommend U2 because U2 does give him additional turns, so you can use LD into HP plus, activating his trap so it starts exploding, then you enter his BT or do whatever that you want. So overall, I'm giving Ace a score of 7 over 10. But if you already have in green, then you should pull for his FR, as I will pull for his FR. So good luck with you guys who are pulling for this banner. I believe the price of this banner is actually Braska. So good luck and thanks for watching the video. Have fun.